Hey everyone, welcome to another video. I hope that you're doing well. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, my name is Marco and I started this channel just to share my journey as I become a better person and a better photographer. Today's video is another journals episode. It's a little different than the previous journal episodes in that, one, I am no longer in Italy, I'm back in California. That being said, I do have a couple more videos that I'm going to be sharing with you from my time in Italy, and so stick around for those in the next couple of weeks. Two, this episode is different than the previous journal episodes in that rather than exploring a new city or a new place, I was exploring a new technique or a new method. And that technique is basically shooting straight out of camera JPEGs. One of the questions that I've gotten asked the most since I started this channel is, Marco, what Fujifilm recipes are you using to get the pictures that you're sharing in your videos? And the truth is that the majority of the pictures that you've seen in the videos that I share on this channel were shot in RAW and edited in Lightroom. But because it's such a commonly asked question, it's inspired me to try and create a Fujifilm recipe that I would be happy to use, as well as happy to share with you. That's what today's episode was. Everything that you're gonna see in today's video was shot with the X100F. And so that's another thing that's quite different. If you've been watching my episodes from Italy or previous episodes, you know that I love the original X100. And I still love this camera, and I will continue to shoot with this camera till it's not an option anymore. But for today's video, X100F, I was a little bit rusty. I wasn't used to shooting with this camera. It is quite similar to the original, but different enough to where it takes some getting used to. But anyways, I hope that you enjoy this first segment, which was all shot in Hollywood. I just walked up and down Hollywood Boulevard a couple of times, and that's what you're gonna see. Straight out of camera, Fujifilm recipe JPEGs. Okay, enjoy. So at this point, I had been going up and down Hollywood Boulevard, and I really wanted to test this recipe out. I wasn't sure if I had pushed the tint too far, and so I decided to get into my car and go to Melrose Boulevard. And I went there because from previous experiences, I know that Melrose Boulevard, I would assume runs east and west because when you walk in one direction, everything's backlit. And when you walk in the opposite direction, everything is in direct, harsh sunlight. And so what I did is I parked my car there, and I wasn't there for very long. I walked on one side of the street, which was completely shaded, and that gave me an opportunity to test out the way that this recipe would respond in that type of lighting. And then after a couple of blocks, I crossed the street, came back the other way, and everybody was harshly lit by the sun. They were all looking directly into the sun. That being said, I walked back down to my car, and went back to Hollywood and Highland, shot a little bit, and then I decided I was done for the day. And so anyways, I hope that you enjoy this next segment. I have one more thing that I want to say and one more bonus segment that I want to share with you. And yeah, so stick around for that. After I went to Hollywood and Highland, I decided to go home, and I was really curious about the type of pictures that I got, because they look good on the back of the screen, but until you see them on the computer, you don't really know. And so I put them into the computer, and I was pleasantly surprised by some of them. Others I wasn't sure how I felt about. I'm still not really sure how I feel about them, and I'm sure when I look at them in a couple of weeks, I'll have a better idea. Sometimes for me, I need a little bit of space or distance or time away from the pictures to be more objective. But one of the things that was really clear to me right off the bat was that there were a few pictures that I would have loved to have shot in black and white. Because I did shoot JPEG and RAW, I could have just edited the RAW files in black and white, but because I am experimenting with JPEGs, what I did is I used a software called Fuji X Studio, and it only works with the newer cameras, unfortunately. So like my X100 original, it doesn't work with the software, but you connect the camera that you shot those RAW files with, and then it uses your camera to edit those pictures. So it only gives you the options that your camera gives you when you are creating your recipe in your camera. And so I created a black and white recipe using the X100 after I had already imported the RAW files. And I thought that I would pick out some of the pictures from today's episode, convert them into black and white using the Xraw Studio software, because it simulates, or it is basically a straight out of camera JPEG type of concept. And I thought that I would do one more segment that I could share with you as kind of a bonus in case you're into black and white JPEGs. And so here they are. With all of that being said, thank you so much for joining me on another video. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. And I have a lot of videos that I'm dying to share with you. So I hope to see you in the next couple of videos, okay? Talk to you then. Okay, bye.